The way to get rid of tension is to do just the opposite of all the things that cause it.
Hello everyone, this is Hugo from Ichiban Painting, and today we're going to be touching a subject for people that are starting out in the modeling world. So I got a lot of questions asking me what are the basic tools that you need before painting when you're actually assembling your models. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the basic, and then after that we're going to move on to the extras that you could have that are always handy and everything. So the basic things that you will probably need when you start out will be an X-Acto knife or a scalpel, some clippers, and then after that some glues. So the glue that I use are these two. So basically let's look over onto these basic things. So first of all, you have an X-Acto knife. So it's going to be really handy if you want to cut your spur out, and you can also do it with this. I recommend for those of you that are starting, when you're handling a spur, the first thing that I like to do is I like to take the clippers and, for example, let's clip this part out here. So you see that this part here is next to the model, right? Actually, what I like to do is I like to clip it with the clippers near to the spur itself, like so. Hold on a second here, and then I'm done. Okay, so that's how I use my clippers, and then after that what you're left with is this little piece here with the thing, the spur left on it. So that's when I like to take my hobby knife, and then what I'll actually take my hobby knife and do it is I'll go snip it. So we have a clean cut. Okay, now I'm doing this. I don't have a lot of space, but clean cut. Why I don't go here with the snip is that sometimes, especially if your snips are getting older, when you go here, the snips are actually gonna pull out on this part here, and sometimes it does leave a little hole here that you're gonna have to go back in with the filler or a putty. But if you use the X-Acto, you're gonna ensure, be careful when you do that, take your time, but you're gonna ensure that it's gonna be really smooth and really nice clean cut. So that's why you need the X-Acto and the snips at the same time. If you take the X-Acto directly on the spur, you can do it in some occasions, but I think it's better if you want to do a great job to use the snips first, and then after that use your X-Acto blade. And for the glues that I have here, these are the two glues that I like to use. I love Tamiya cement. This is for plastic only glue, but this stuff is so strong and so good. Okay, so I recommend this if you're doing only plastic models. This is incredibly good. And I use as contact glue, I use Tamiya cement, the contact glue, the quick contact glue. Why I use that instead of other contact glue is that in Japan Tamiya is widely available, and another thing is that some companies of glue, actually contact glue, tend to go in when you apply it, and actually they tend to frost off a little bit compared to the Tamiya glue that doesn't do that. So that's why I love it, and because it's widely available. So basically these are the main tools that you're gonna need when you start out. If you want to clean your mold lines when you start out, you can use if you want to go on a lower budget, you can use your X-Acto knife and actually go where there's a mold line and carefully rub the blade against it, and it's gonna smooth out these edges. But if you want to step up your starter kit a little bit more and move towards the a little bit more complicated and better finish, then I would add in some sandpaper, 400 grit. Okay, why I use the 400 grit is that I noticed by doing a lot of models like I do, that 400 grit, when you send out with it, it's not gonna leave marks, scratches on the model, and so you can send with the 400 grit, and then after that right away prime it, and you won't see nothing as scratch, because it's gonna be all covered. So this is we're moving up now. So once you have all this, if you want to keep on moving up, I have another tool, and I call it a spur cleaning tool. And basically this tool, what it is a sharp 4-pointed thingy, steel thingy that you can rub on a mold line. It's going to take it off. So if I'm doing a whole army to tabletop standard, I'll use this to just scrape everything off really fast, all the mold lines, and it's going to do a great result. Of course, using your sandpapers or files is going to be better, but you know, it's a good thing. Another thing that you can come and buy as tools for your modeling is different sets of files and different size and different shapes. The files are going to help you go in those hard to reach areas that it's going to be a little bit harder to reach with the sandpaper. I personally like sandpaper better, but I do use my files on metal models, or like I just said, on hard to reach areas. The files are more efficient for that. So now we're moving on. We're building up your kit, you know, from the starting to as you get better and you're more interested in modeling. Then what you can do is add on a little drill set. There's many available. I know that this one is only available in Japan, and it's a wonderful kit. I actually got a couple kits for some of my friends in the UK and the US, and they love it. This is a small beginner kit that has a 3mm bit, a 2mm bit, and a 1mm bit. And this one actually works on a quick release system, so you just pull it in and that's it. Here it's good, and it's all metal, it's sturdy and good. But any kind of drill bits that are going to be useful for you. Why you're going to need a drill bit? If you have barrels on your guns, then having the drill bits are going to enable you to be able to drill those holes out, so it's going to look a little bit more realistic. If you want to start pinning your models, then you're going to use those bits to drill holes and pin your model. If you want to start magnetizing, then you use the 3mm bit and start putting magnets on your models. So this is going to be another tool that's going to be really useful for you when you build up your beginner kit and get better. Moving on other things that you would need as the more interested into hobbying will be different grits of sandpapers. So I have actually 180, I have 240, 320, 600 and 400 here. Why would I use this is that when you start to be more into modeling itself, you're gonna start using another thing that you're gonna need is putty. Okay, you see I use a lot of Tamiya stuff. It's because I live in Japan, so it's widely available everywhere and it's pretty cheap. If you have putty, then having the ability to use 180 grit moving on towards the 600, that's going to help you smooth out your areas faster. That's, for example, if you take 600 and you have a really rough area because you just put in putty, it's going to take you hours to smooth it all out. But then if you start off at 100, it's going to take all of the excess. Then you're going to be able to apply more putty, make sure it's all smooth, and then you move up to your grit. But I'll do videos about how I prep my minis and how to work on that. This is just to talk about the tools. So it might be a good thing to invest into getting some more and different kind of grits, sandpapers. Then the other, because we're only talking about tools today, right? So basically the other tool that you can get when you're working, and there's many others, but I'm not going to show it to you guys. I just want to keep it pretty basics. Another tool that might be useful though, before I forget, is a little pair of tonsils. These are going to be great for handling small detail things, or even when you're painting, taking a sponge, and there's so many applications where you can use a tonsil, so this is a good thing. But the last thing, as you move up towards your hobby thing, the last major thing is a Dremel. I don't have an official Dremel, but I have this little kit here. Let me see if you can see it well. So you have different accessories there, and sanding tools and polishing tools and cutting tools and drilling tools. So Dremel will come out really handy in the long run if you're doing a lot of modeling. This is gonna be a really good kit. But back to basic. The only thing when you're starting out you need a type of glue, some snips, an X-Acto blade, and that's pretty much it. And you can start off with there, with that. But as you move on, like I said, you can add on all those little things here and there that's gonna make your modeling life a little bit more easier and nicer to enjoy, and maybe a little bit help you work a little bit faster. But basically that's pretty much it. And I forgot one thing, but this thing that you see in the back, this is a cutting mat. It doesn't need to be a hobby cutting mat like this one with all the design. It could just be a cutting board or anything, but you will need to have somewhere that you can work on and have a nice steady area. You can have it in different sizes, like a small one like this or a big one for the hobby purpose one, but you can, like I said, buy at the dollar store just a cutting board and it's still gonna be fine and work perfectly for the application that we use in the modeling world. So I hope that this is good introduction videos on the tools of the trade and the tools that are going to help you, get better in modeling. Like I said, there's tons of other video if you're interested in putty and things like that. I do have a video talking about fillers and putties, like green stuff, liquid green stuff, putty and epoxy putty and things like that. I do have an old video talking about that, but today I wanted to touch a little bit to the subject of the tools and what you need to start modeling. So this was Hugo from Ichiban Painting. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers for watching.